Okay, today we are playing Mega Man 8 for the PlayStation 1. Thanks to Orion for his purchase of this game from the website. Um, Mega Man 8 is a little weird because it is the only 32-bit mainline Mega Man game that ever came out. That has happened before. Mega Man 7 was the only 16-bit. But there was never a 64, PS2, anything after that. 9 ended up kind of going back to its roots in the NES style as a downloadable game for PSN and Xbox Live. I think it also came out on the original Wii. But yeah, the big thing with Mega Man 8 is the FMV, because they have a disc now, and they can do extra storage for bad anime like this. Of course, you got Protoman in there. Got to be a badass with his scarf. But yeah, the anime was not so great. But the thing that really excited me about Mega Man coming to a CD is all that Mega Man music that's always been so great now is CD quality. In my mind, 8 doesn't have as good a music. Maybe Mega Man's music falls apart a little bit if it's not in the chiptune style. But it's still pretty good. It's not too bad. So yeah, Mega Man 8 also is a little different in that it has a more in-depth story, of course, just like more anime-ish than the originals. It's not, oh no, Dr. Wily made some more robot masters, you gotta go defeat him. There's this more overarching story to it that from the beginning here is pretty obtuse and very anime. Fighting in space, because you know, why not? That's anime. But Mega Man 8 kind of gets a bad rap. This is the PlayStation 1 version. If you didn't notice, it also came out for Saturn. Maybe the Saturn one is actually better. Especially 2D platformers always seem to be better on the Saturn. But yeah, Mega Man 8 was kind of panned when it came out. It sold pretty well, I think. It came out in a greatest hits version, so it had to have sold rather well. It's certainly better than the direction 7 went, but 8, along with what 32-bit consoles can offer, it really didn't offer much difference in gameplay, which, when it was reviewed back in the day, that was a strong negative, that it didn't change up too much. Oh, there's our hero. Very, very bad voice acting in this anime style of... Yeah, and they didn't even sync up the mouths, because what do you do with that, you know? Poor Bass. Yeah, voice acting. Whoever was in the office, I don't know.
What is the problem?
Wow. Dr. Light is probably the worst voice actor in this whole game. That little quote there is pretty famous for one of the worst readings in voice acting. But voice acting was pretty common or bad voice acting was pretty common back in the day on the 32-bit systems like that. It was all new. They didn't know what to do. So you got the normal Mega Blaster, or Buster, sorry. And you do get different powers. Actually, right away in the game, I believe they give you one. I will mention I am terrible at Mega Man and a lot of other retro games, but Mega Man specifically. A lot of Mega Man is also memorizing, dying a few times and then learning from those mistakes. Which I don't think this one was that brutal as far as difficulty. It's been a number of years since I played this game. Mega Man, I believe, is 2 words. Dr. Light does not know this. It's a creepy island. I don't know. I don't mind it so far. The Mega Ball. So yeah, Dr. Light gives you the Mega Ball. Possibly because you did such a great job in Mega Man Soccer on the Super Nintendo that a ball is a pretty viable weapon for you now. So that's your first power, switching in between. But yeah, the Mega Man 8 was kind of panned when it came out, like I was saying, because of the lack of innovation, because it was Mega Man. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. What is Capcom supposed to do? Here's a secret room. It's the equivalent of Mario pipes. It's even got kind of a Mario Underground music to it. But yeah, what is Capcom supposed to do in that scenario where they already made 6 on the Super Nintendo, they put 7 out, and it wasn't that beloved. They tried to make a number 8. They already was going in the direction of a lot of the X games. But they tried another mainline game, added some features that 32-bit consoles can give you, but stuck true to the formula, because if you're buying a Mega Man game, chances are that's what you're looking for. So yeah, it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of thing, and Capcom still suffers to this day about what to do with Mega Man. I think 9 and 10 did fine, but it just they can't keep doing that same thing and having people, all the critics, say, well, you're not changing it up, but at the same time, that's what they're asking for. Look at Mighty Number 9. Gets how many millions of dollars, but Capcom probably wouldn't put that. That's probably a pretty low number for Capcom in the general terms for what that Kickstarter actually brought. Probably less than what they would want out of making a Mega Man game. If they actually got that amount for the sales of that game, say a Mega Man 11, they would probably deem it as a failure and maybe a watering down of their Mega Man franchise, which they've done in the past. But yeah, so I don't see how they can win by keeping up and adding new Mega Man games. The X series got terrible uh, in the PS2 days, and mainline ones, from all accounts, the download ones, 9 and 10, were great, but they didn't set the world on fire. And the last probably great Mega Man games were the Battle Network games on the Game Boy, and they've kind of pretty much drove that into the ground. I have not played any of the DS ones. There is a ton of those that I have not played, so I cannot comment on the quality of those, but they can't possibly be that great by how many there are. Again, guys, I suck at Mega Man. If you haven't played any of the Battle Network games, I mean, obviously they're not action platformers like these Mega Man or Mega Man X series, but they are pretty good RPGs. It was a kind of a good and unique direction to take Mega Man in. Mega Man has a terrible job of let's see here. How do you slide? Do you not have the power yet? Oh, there's got to be a way to avoid that. Okay, let's figure out how you slide. Okay. Got it. So overall, I think 8 is, looking back, it's not too bad. With the slide, obviously, he doesn't have the mobility that maybe he did in the older games, so obviously need to slide. But overall, it's not terrible. A little bit repetitive, just like all bosses. You have to find the pattern. That's half the battle of the bosses is finding the right pattern. This game is also very colorful. A little bit different than the X series, which in my mind is a little bit darker, a little bit grittier as far as colors. Of course, we have Dr. Wily. His secret base is just a crater. Now, see, that voice acting isn't too bad. Hopefully he got a better paycheck than Dr. Light. Who am I kidding? These guys didn't get paid. They were probably the programmers. Not programmers. Localization team, probably. So far, Rush is just here to be the R2-D2 of this game. It also has loading screens, which are new to Mega Man at this point. So we got Tanga Man, forget Clown Man. I don't remember the names of these ones. These are not the only 4. You start out with 4, and then something happens, and then you end up doing the other 4, just like every other Mega Man game. But yeah, I do not remember the order, so let's just start with Tanga Man, which it's kind of a ridiculous robot theme for Tengu, because that's a little bit, it's more of a Japanese thing. Didn't really translate over here. But overall, Mega Man 8 has some pretty good bosses, because they're not too crazy. You still have like Frostman and Aquaman. Normal stuff that you would probably be surprised it wasn't in their Mega Man games first. We got a little bit of wind in this. Oh, that was awful. So yeah, we got a little bit of wind in this stage that messes with going backward and how far you jump when you go forward. I did the same thing. Oh. I'm dying on the first Goomba, guys. I'm that guy. Okay, we did it. And of course we have, this is Mega Man's equivalent of the Goomba. These guys with the helmets on. Can't have a Mega Man game without those, in my mind. He does have a little bit of a weird delay to his jump, which might have messed up my ability on this level so far. It's a little bit different gameplay for a Mega Man game. Just, you know, different things to do at the different areas of the stage. There we go. Give me something good. Nope. Forget you guys. Okay, now we got a shoot 'em up section on Rush, which isn't a wholly original idea, but still mixes it up a little bit. So yeah, it is Capcom trying to not be so stale with the gameplay, but also stay true to Mega Man. I admire that. The colors are really nice here, except they look a little washed out. Maybe that's just my display, or but again, PS1 is not known for color as the Sega Saturn is. So, and that was, I think, the lead platform, the second Saturn. And we are just destroying stuff now. Welcome to the CD era. Mega Man. Loading screens in between levels. Or in between checkpoints even. But it also comes with stuff like that, where you got smoke clouds and lots of sprites on the same screen. It really is the 2D platforming dream that they were trying to accomplish. Where the Sega definitely excelled, PlayStation 1 also. They are trying to be a little harsh on you with those clouds, the smoke screens, and you do get some friends to power you up a little bit, which is pretty cool. Where's Protoman? And some good looking explosions. Different effects for killing different guys. Oh, my health is low. I could really use some health, guys. Give me some health. And that's the end of the shooting section. More bubbles. Which really aren't that much fun, but it really does mix up the gameplay. Oh no. And they are pretty generous with checkpoints. Which I appreciate. Maybe a true Mega Man enthusiast is not all into that, but otherwise these games would be impossible for me. Who am I kidding? They already are. No matter what they do. Let's see if we can at least get to Tanga Man though. Oh. I'm not sure how to get to that. The wind is strong. Music is not too bad. Definitely has more of that CD era to it. Sweeping notes and all. Mega Man does look a little bit funny in the sprite. I have to admit that. Still have the tradition of the intermediate doors, even though you wouldn't need that.
Are you worthy of my challenge?
Robot Masters are voice acted now. So I don't know his pattern here. Oh. probably get away from the edge there, I suppose. But yeah, multiple attacks. I saw at least 2 or 3 of attacks there, and so that's a little bit more advanced for a Mega Man boss.
Are you worthy of my challenge? Tornado hold! That's it! Feel my power!
Yeah. So the
Tornado hold!
ability to avoid attacks in this game is probably the strongest thing to overcome. Mega Man is rather slow
Are you worthy of my challenge?
as far as jumping, even delay in the jump like he has, and just overall speed of which he walks.
Here you go!
Okay, I need to get out of here.
Tornado hold! Tornado hold! Here you go! Here you go! Tornado hold!
Sorry guys, I'm pretty bad at talking up and playing at the same time, but does it really matter? I mean, I'm not gonna beat this guy anyway, right? Let's see where the continue is. I'm guessing it's probably, yeah, pretty far away. Should we try a different stage? There's got to be a way to get out of here, right? Oh, and I didn't save it. Okay. Well, that might be it for Mega Man 8 today. Yeah. Overall, not too bad of a game. Does not live up to Mega Man 2, 3, 5. But look at that. All those sprites. A lot of this stuff seems like it probably could have been done on a Super Nintendo. Especially if they had it later with a chip or something like that in it. So nothing real exciting there. Nothing mind-blowing. But they stuck to the formula, put something out, and it wasn't a... Let's see, we had 1 through 6 on the Nintendo, the original Nintendo. And then they spaced them out. So you can't really complain that they didn't really innovate when they've just been putting out the same game. Even if it is every 5-6 years. That is not something really to yell at them for. At least they tried. I mean, did you want them to make a 3D Mega Man? I guess this came out, let's see, this did come out after Super Mario 64, so that kind of craze, going back to a 2D, was not that popular. But I just can't see Mega Man working in a real 3D platform very well, especially in this era that this one was released in. You'd be constantly fighting the controls and the camera, which, for a game with difficulty like Mega Man, you die, like you can tell, for me, it is my fault, and my fault itself. Maybe some animation stuff, but overall it's mostly my fault for dying in a 2D platformer. When you take the same thing to a 3D platformer with a whole bunch more extra buttons, and analog stick and controls and camera involved, you're much more likely to be able to blame your death on those parts of the game instead of your own fault. So I don't think Mega Man in 3D was the right way to go. The Legend ones were 3D, and they were good. I'm not going to put them down or anything, but they are different than just a straight up platformer. But going back to what they were supposed to do with Mega Man, look, Legend is a good example. The second one sold very badly. That's also why it is a $60-70 game now. Not many copies out in the wild. And then Capcom broke a lot of hearts by really pushing Mega Man Legends 3 for the 3DS and then ultimately bailing on the whole thing entirely. Yeah, Capcom just doesn't know what it wants to do with Mega Man, and even with Inafune at the head of it, I don't even think, outside of classic Mega Man, I don't think he really knows what direction Mega Man should go to if you really want to innovate on it. That's why he was creator of this and the Legends games and stuff like that. And then ultimately, I think what he wanted to do, Capcom wanted him to do something else, maybe try and innovate on it, and they couldn't get something to work. And he left Capcom, and Inafune stuck to his guns, made a lot of money on Kickstarter, and let's hope Mighty Number 9 is just as good as any old Mega Man that Inafune was in control of. I hope. I think expectations are sky high now over the massive success of the Kickstarter, but only time will tell, I suppose. Look at these skills I learned in Mega Man Soccer. But yeah, anyway guys, that will be Mega Man 8, and that will be our under. I have to know if there is a, no there isn't. He's a robot. There's no air limit. Anyway, yeah. Thank you Orion for purchasing Mega Man 8 so we could play that today. And it should be shipped to your door pretty soon here. And everyone else who's watching this, please like and subscribe. We do this 2 or 3 times a week. Different games for different platforms, retro, even modern sometimes. But if you want a chance of us playing your favorite game, your best chance of having us do that is either purchasing or renting that from our website. So if you'd like to see your favorite game, that's what you should try to do. Yeah, Mega Man. Let's hopefully someday we get into the retro ones as well. I would love to go back to those and play them again and even suck worse than I did today. But that's gonna do it for today. Everybody have a good one.